Hey, how are we doing? We are trying to make Snake, and we've got to this point here where we've got 57 lines of code, which now require a little bit of zooming in and zooming out, but that's the entirety of the code there. You can see that I've gotten to part 8, so I've changed the header tag there, and it says part 8 there. And you'll also notice that I've now got a separate section at the bottom of my browser. And in Chrome, you can achieve that by pressing F12. So all I've done is control and scroll, zooms up and down, makes the screen size bigger, and then press F12. I get something called the console at the bottom of the screen here. Now it may pop up in elements, which is basically your code. So if you click on it, you'll actually see what you've developed at the bottom there, and that's what's running inside this browser. But if you click on console, essentially what we get here is some of the values from inside our code, or at least we get some of the values inside code, if we explicitly state that we want them. So let's go back and let's see how we've achieved that. So I'm going to zoom in on this line here. So can you see in the entirety of the code, I'm putting it just there inside the code. Let's find it. So what we're going to do is we're going to work towards displaying the X and the Y position. But first of all, I was quite interested to find out what the X and the Y values are of my snake. And what we were trying to do is we're trying to make sure that our X for our snake and our X for our apple are the same at some stage. If that's the same as that, and that's the same as that, then the apple and the snake are in the same position, and our snake should eat our apple, and our apple should kind of randomly jump to somewhere else on the screen. And that's what these two lines here should achieve once we get this collision detection working. Well, let's see how that works. At the moment, we're logging X and Y. That's the snake's position. So let's have a look. Can you see how this is appearing down here? Now, this ticker is actually every time that our screen updates. So you can see that this is related to this value here. The speed of this is related to this value here. You can see when it's actually updating. And what I can do is I can click on my window and I can start moving my stake around, and you can see that that value then changes. And what we're looking for is we're trying to find a situation where our apple is at the same location as our snake. Well, why isn't it at the same position as our snake? Surely it is. Well, let's have a look. Where is our apple? We've positioned our apple at 60-60. But if we look at our actual position, X and Y position for our snake, it never becomes 60-60. It becomes 3-3. If you notice, just as I pass through the snake, it's 3-3. And I'm sure you can work out the math on that 3 times 20 is going to give us 60. So where have we done that? Well, you can see here. What we did was we didn't actually put the absolute position of the snake based on these values. What we're doing is we're taking that value and multiplying it by 20. So if we cause the same effect here, we should get a good overlap. So let's see. Let's multiply that by 20 and multiply that by 20. And let's see what happens. So we'll save that. That looks like it makes sense. Let's give it a refresh. And where's our apple? Well, we can use this console.log feature here to kind of say, well, actually, instead of telling me my X and Y for my snake, let's see if we can test our X and our Y of our apple. It's at 60-60. Well, that should be fine, right? That should be there. Well, the problem is, if it's at 60-60, we're then multiplying 60 and 60 by 20. So we're actually getting 60 multiplied by 20. So we're getting, what is that, 1,200? You can do the math on that one for me. But it's way off the count. It's way off the screen. It's not up here. It's way down here, away from the monitor. Somewhere down through the floor, down this direction. So what do I need to do? So what I need to do is come back up to here, and instead of actually setting it to be 60, I want to set it to be 3. And what it's going to do is 3 by 3, it's going to multiply it by the 20, it's going to put it at 60-60. Let's save that, let's go back, let's refresh. It goes back to where it should be, and what we're going to find now is that we do actually eat our apple. We do actually eat our apple. Now, we should be able to see from the console log that that's causing some strange effect. Let's run it again and let's see what happens. Have a look. That's F5. Let's run into our apple again. It was at 3-3, but this is the position of my apple now. And you can kind of see what's happening. Each time I eat the apple, it kind of jumps up to this top left corner. It doesn't appear anywhere on the screen. It keeps jumping to this left-hand corner, and I think you can work out why. Look at these floats here, and think about the position that is appearing on the screen. Let's look at that in the next video.